Howdy y'all, Christi here with Little Salty Homesteader, here with Logan. Today we are back with another weekly garden update, getting a bit of a late start. I've been on vacation from work all week and my schedule is just non-existent. So getting a little bit of a late start, we're going to be doing this garden update in the dead heat of the day because this is the first time I've had a minute to do it. So let's go see how things are doing. I usually start over here in the tomato patch, which is where we're gonna start today.
Okay, can I hold the camera?
I'm gonna hold it.
Okay.
But we're just gonna walk through and we're gonna talk about stuff, okay? All right, so not much has changed in these two beds. Things are just growing right along. The eggplants are doing really well. There's lots of blooms and stuff.
That looks like a big tomato.
Eggplant, something nibbled on that. All right. But we have eggplant growing there. Can you go throw that in the gray trash can? Thank you. We still have the Sakura cherry tomato here, and this growth right here is really healthy and doing really well. This one I just need to prune off so that it'll focus its energy here. But like I was saying, this bed and this bed, not too much has changed. The cowpeas are doing really well. I harvested several this morning.
There's a patch of mushrooms.
Yeah, in the other bed. I planted cucumber
I wasn't
right
even
here.
talking about that bed. There's one next to it.
Okay. I planted cucumber right here 2 days ago, so that should be sprouting anytime now. These tomatoes are all looking really, really good. I spent some time pruning this morning, but there's lots of blooms all the way down. Unfortunately, it is approximately 247 degrees outside, so I don't know if any of these will set fruit. Hopefully the shade cloth cools it down enough underneath in order to trigger the fruit set. It's not really 247, it is 102, so it is quite hot. As you can see, the wind is not blowing at all, so it's very hot, very still, very stagnant, humid air. But this bed probably has the most change from last week. These tomatoes, whenever it hit triple digits, they just crispy crittered, fried right up. The shade cloth didn't quite cover them enough to protect them from the super duper hot temperatures. There was also a fennel here. I feel like it was impeding the growth of some of the things, so I just pulled it out yesterday or the day before, I can't really remember. I'm only able to do gardening for like 5 or 10 minutes at a time because it is so hot. So yeah, this bed probably has the most change out of anything else in the garden, and apparently I am becoming a mushroom farmer without even trying. I'm not entirely sure what type of mushrooms these are, but they spawned the other day right here and really made this basil lean out into the yard. So I did prune it back really heavily, try to loosen some of the, or try to get rid of some of the weight that was on there from all the basil there. So it'll be fine. It'll grow back. All these green healthy leaves will continue to grow. This was the Persian basil, so it does have some purple as well. I also cut down the pineapple sage here. It just got really sick. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if it was related to the mushrooms randomly sprouting. It was right here. But it got really sick, so I had to cut it down. But the cowpeas are still doing okay. I've been harvesting some here and there out of this bed. And then this lime basil is still just kicking some royal behind there. Over here, these raised beds, now we're in the super hottest part of the yard, so we're gonna go through this very quickly, okay, Logan? Not a whole lot has changed. The okra is really starting to get some height on. It's super big. It's becoming pretty prolific. I'm harvesting twice a day now because it's growing so quickly. I cut this cardinal basil back. It was really windy for a couple of days, so it was like leaning way out from the wind. And I cut the habanada plant down, harvested some banana peppers, And then down here, I cut this basil back. It should smell like peppers. There's a lot of them. And as you can see, we do have bell peppers still growing here. So I harvested one this morning to put in our breakfast, but there's several more on here. So we are staying in bell peppers pretty well. There's 3 right there if you can see. Pretty awesome. This quad here had 2 squash plants and some radishes. These squash plants were taken out by squash vine borers, and I also had squash bugs. So I pulled those out, pulled out the radishes, and I figured out why I wasn't ever able to get any fruit off of these plants. There was enough nitrogen in here, but it was deficient in either potassium or phosphorus, one of the 2. So I added some fertilizer and some earthworm castings in here, mixed it in really well. The next round of planting that will go in here should do pretty well. It's not going to be squash. It'll probably be a brassica of some sort.
What are these?
Marbles.
Marbles?
Yes. This bed, this had lettuce leaf basil. I cut it pretty far back because it had a lot of fungal issues. And then I cut down another, no, I didn't cut down a basil. I cut it back pretty far, this one. This one was as tall as this okra plant, so I cut it back so that it would bush out a little bit more and give us a little bit more leaves, so that we'll be able to dry that for winter basil use. Words are hard, Logan, words are hard. I've been harvesting these pretty regularly. These are the mulatto esleno, the brown poblano type peppers. I just dehydrate them in my dehydrator once they get ripe, and then I grind them up and use them as chili powder. So there it is in its brown form, and then it will turn red.
Mama,
Yes?
something wrong with the greenhouse door.
No, the weed eater hit it. Yeah. Nothing is safe when mommy has a weed eater. So as you can see, the okra is incredibly giant. Logan, go stand next to it so we can try to get some perspective here. So Logan is about 5 foot tall at this point, and it just towers over him.
That's my size.
Twice his size, he says. Then we have some Ajvarski peppers growing here, several on these plants. Violet sparkle there. Okra, like I was saying, I have to come out and harvest it twice a day. Purple beauty bells. I thought that I saw a baby one yesterday. Maybe not. Maybe I was imagining it. Maybe I dreamed it. Let's see. Ah, there it is. Found it. Anyway, somebody was telling me that they will cut their okra off. They'll top it so that it will bush out more. And they said that they get a bigger harvest that way. And I'm sure that if you wanted to do that, you could. But I really like how the okra helps cast some shade on these pepper plants, especially on the days whenever it's 102 out. Because as they grow taller, they get more leaves, cast more shade, and you know, these front row plants are healthier overall because of that.
You might not even be able to get okra from it anymore.
I have to pull it over like this.
Oh.
I have to pull it down and then harvest it because it's beyond my reach at this point. I wanted to show you this zinnia. This is one of the Benary's giant. It is blooming and it's so pretty. The camera doesn't even capture like all of the different shades of red in this flower. It's beautiful. And we have another one here. Sunflower patch. Sunflowers are moving right along. They're starting to get some height on them. Hopefully here in a month or so we start to see flower heads form up, but really exciting to see this many compared to what we had early in the spring. This is a much better. Over here in the flower bed, stuff is finally starting to bloom. The stuff that we transplanted in maybe about a month ago or so. So we have some of these profusion zinnias. These are the red and yellow bicolor. And then looks like one of the dwarf sunflowers is opening up. More of the red and yellow bicolor zinnia. Another sunflower opening. I can't remember which variety of profusion zinnia that is, but it's blooming. Feverfew on this side is blooming out. Everything is really growing really well. The zinnias are starting to form their flower heads, so they'll be blooming soon. Same thing down here. Looks like we have a gomphrena forming a bit of a flower there. Gaillardia, I think this is double sunset. Here we have one of the zinnias forming its flower heads. Profusion, red and yellow bicolor. Things are really starting to form their flower heads, or they're blooming all together. So in another week or two, this is going to be quite majestic. Cowpeas all through here. You can see where I've harvested tons, and you can see where there's plenty more. I'm harvesting about a handful every day, dehydrating them on just a tray in my kitchen, letting the air just kind of dry them out. Has been working pretty well. We have, I think this is a salmon, Venere's giant salmon, so that has bloomed.
I don't like salmon.
Well, do you like the color?
Yeah.
Okay, so the color's fine, just not the fish.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, one thing of note, sorry, I just saw it and realized. One thing of note for this green stalk, I cut the lemon balm or whatever this was down. It was just growing everywhere and taking over and sort of impeding the sunlight for some of these things. So I cut it down. I know it's still growing there. I'm gonna have to come back and really try to kill it off completely. You can see where I missed some right here. Green stalk with the hot peppers. Now, keep in mind, this is the 102 degree point in the day. So if the leaves are looking a little bit droopy, it's because it is insanely hot out here, but the health of the plants has improved drastically over the last few weeks. So look at how many Buena Mulata peppers are on this one single plant. They're everywhere. They're everywhere on this plant. The Mexi bells, same thing. They're everywhere on this plant. Hungarian wax. I mean, jalapenos are really starting to come along here. More jalapenos here. The Serrano plant back here, I feel like had quite a few on it. Maybe this one. The cayenne plant has several on it. This rattlesnake pepper over here has a ton on it. So what I have been doing has been working really well. When the sun goes down quite a bit today, much later this evening, when it's not so drastically hot, I will be adding more liquid fertilizer to this green stalk. And the way that I do that is I just dilute it in my watering can and pour the whole watering can into the green stalk and just let it trickle down. There's much less waste that way compared to me trying to do like a foliar spray. Lime tree, it is doing really, really well. These limes are just coming along, and then the tree is blooming even more. So if these limes set fruit, we can expect limes around Christmas time, which will be stellar. And then this green stalk, not much has changed. It's more of the same. The mint is still going absolutely everywhere. The okra is starting to take off over here. You can see a couple of pods growing there. I think I got the ant issue from last week under control, so that's doing much better. Over here, this hibiscus is still facing some sort of deficiency. I'm sure it's probably nitrogen because of the yellowing, so I will fertilize this as well. But everything else seems to be doing pretty well. These zinnias are super cute. This was all the basil that I harvested this morning that I need to hang up and dry. And then I have stevia that I harvested this morning as well. But that is the early July, or what month is it, Logan? Early August edition of the weekly update. And I have to say, the things are still looking pretty good, even though it is now 102 degrees. So what's your favorite part of the garden right now?
I don't know.
The red zinnias.
Sure.
Sure?
I don't know.
Well, think about it.
Okay, I'll think about it later.
You'll think about it later. Okay, that's fair. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me for this week's update. It is a very quick one because it is very, very hot out, and we're going to go inside where the AC is cranked and kind of enjoy that for a while and catch up on our water intake, huh?
Yeah.
All right. But thank you guys so much for joining us this week. If you liked this video and you want to see more weekly updates, please like, subscribe, do all those different YouTube things. It's greatly helping my channel. But until next time, go find a way to get those garden manicures. Bye.
Oh, bye.